In regard to the sheet at the back, which I think is an excellent sheet to look at, the Moving Mississauga Action Plan. And that gives you a picture of what has to be done and what is being accomplished. And it's not a good report. Yeah, I did. I did read it and I marked it up. I looked at it and said, wowie, that's all. At the town hall meetings, Councillor Starr, I can assure you that the staff is emphasizing one town hall meeting will be on transit alone in order to give the public some idea of the input. Secondly, I've recommended a number of times, and I hope maybe, we want to spread the news, and I believe that if we had a transit committee, it would help to bring some citizens in that could understand and be able to thoroughly understand our transit needs in Mississauga. Because I believe the public, we have to get this message out to the public. Town hall meeting will do some good, but I really believe a transit committee would be very helpful for them to get their teeth into what is needed in the city of Mississauga. I want to say, and maybe this is somewhat political, but I take real concern when I hear a federal government's platform of corporate tax breaks and balancing the deficit or balancing the budget of the federal government when you look at a report like this. Because if we don't get the influx of funds from the federal government for infrastructure in Mississauga and across the country, I can assure you the congestion is going to increase. And I think as somebody said the other night at the Duke, is that congestion in the GTA will eventually affect the economic success of the GTA. Because companies, it's very difficult to convince companies to locate here in the GTA, in Mississauga, and they can't deliver their products and can't deliver their goods, their services locally. Because we sell the GTA on the basis that we're close to the United States border. That's one of the things we sell. And to get companies, when I was over to India, that's one of the things we sold, was the idea that if you locate your operation in the GTA, you're close to the United States border. And it's advantageous to locate your business in Canada. Then you can't get across the border. The trucks are lined up at the border. So it's even beyond the GTA, the congestion and that came up with our PO movement of goods the other day. It's beyond the GTA. When I look at this, I think Councillor Starr has raised a good question. I'll be interested to know what our needs are in regard to the capital needs to put any of these plans into operation. We know now what the bus rapid transit costs. We have no idea what the LRT for Ontario is going to cost. And I'm glad that we're moving ahead quickly on that, because it is not a priority yet with the Metrolinx, the LRT along Eglinton. And we got to build it to be a priority in order to get Metrolinx to recognize it. But when you see the progress to date, both province-wide, local, and regional, it hasn't been much progress in the last number of years. And the amount of money required I don't know, it's just astronomical that's going to be required to do it. So I hope you'll come forward with those financial data, because we need that in order. And that is why I've been preaching infrastructure funding. Infrastructure funding and it is not being dealt with in this present federal election adequately by the parties. Not at all. It is not being dealt with. Public transit strategy is not being dealt with, and social housing is not being dealt with. It's all about reducing taxes. Well, I can assure you, if the federal government and the provincial government reduces taxes, then expect your property tax to soar. There's only one way. It's got to come from somewhere. So we're going to be faced with major property tax increases if the other two levels of government are going to try to win an election on reduction in taxes. It's as simple as that, folks. Let's get the message across.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Fonseca.
Don't question
Thank you very for the report. I agree.
whatever you do.
All those